I do it because I want to relive the train scene in Back to the Future 3.
Exactly.
Yes.
That is what the floating disc is for, first and foremost.
No, it's for
It's
carrying loot.
harmless. Yes, that's true. Its actual job is to carry loot, and that sure hasn't mattered in years.
Hello, friends. Robert Bevan here, author of the Caverns Creatures series of comedy, fantasy novels, and short stories. With me is Sam West, and today we're talking about the spell Floating Disc. I think this is Tensor's Floating Disc.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like this little spell. This is a cute thing. I don't know if it's ever been important.
Yeah, you didn't rave about it in your written review.
It's like
Is linked
it's a
below.
it's a really cute effect. It's just not good. So this
Well, I
is
mean, yeah. Go ahead and do the description, then we'll talk about it.
okay. It's a ritual spell. It's a duration spell. It's first level. It's got a cast time of an action. It being a ritual is really important. 30-foot range, unoccupied space of your choice. You can see range of the target. It's got rosematic material components. Requires a drop of mercury. Its duration's an hour, and it's only for wizards. The spell creates a circular horizontal plane of force 3 feet in diameter and 1 inch thick that floats 3 feet above the ground in an unoccupied space of your choice that you can see within range. The disc remains for the duration and can hold up to 500 pounds. If more weight is placed on it, the spell ends and everything on the disc falls to the ground. The disc is immobile while you are within 20 feet of it. If you move more than 20 feet away from it, the disc follows you so that it remains within 20 feet of you. It can move across uneven terrain, up or down stairs, slopes, and the like, but it can't cross an elevation change of 10 feet or more. For example, the disc can't move across a 10-foot deep pit, nor can it leave such a pit if it was created at the bottom. If you move more than 100 feet from the disc, typically because it can't move around an obstacle to follow you, the spell ends.
All right. I can only think of 3 practical uses for this. Well, first of all, I'd like to go into what were they intending with this? What do you think?
This is ripped right out of an edition of Old Carry Loot. That's this thing's job. This is you
Yeah,
plunder the dungeon, you ritual cast floating disc, you stick 500 worth of gold, 500 pounds worth of gold on it, and you take that out instead of having to bring 3 more hirelings with you. That is
right.
what this reads to me.
Yes, and like like I think what you mentioned in previous video, we're kind of phasing out encumbrance and that sort of thing. And we got bags of holding. It's less of an issue than
Yeah,
perhaps
the
it
bag of
was.
holding literally is just the video game inventory. It was
Yeah,
created for that purpose, and it solved that problem really well.
yeah. So yes, that's one practical use I had. The other one more is, maybe the ground's wet and you want to go to sleep, put up a floating disc, sleep on that. You don't have to get wet.
An hour into your nap.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's only an hour. You want to? Oh, man. Well, maybe you pick up Meta Magic Adept and
Double its
extend that.
duration.
Yeah, you get a 2-hour nap.
Oh.
That's something. But all right, my favorite
Mhm.
is you're riding a horse, and your friend can ride the disc behind you.
Yeah, holding on for dear life. Because you're
Yeah,
going fast.
yeah, but you once you're going at top speed, you're not you don't have to hold on so much anymore.
There. It might be bouncing all over the place, depending on how the elevation's changing, right? Because it is going up and down. It's to remain that distance off the ground. So it's not
Right.
going to be a smooth ride, I don't think.
I think it's going to be a lot smoother than if you were on a chariot or something, because
Maybe.
I don't think it's going. I imagine smooth transitions up and down.
Could be. Could be that. Is
So,
that useful?
that's another thing. You could make a chair of some sort or a carriage kind of thing with a circular indentation at the bottom, perfectly fitting for a floating disc, so that it fits right on top. You're riding in comfort. The chair's not
Someone else
flipping
is
off.
riding in comfort. That's
Yeah,
important.
someone
You
else is riding
aren't
in
the one
comfort. Yeah,
riding it.
right, right. Yeah, this is or you could have a rickshaw business, whatever. No, but all right, I have never, all right,
This
I've never
Seinfeld?
used. But see, that's got to be before your time.
Yeah, it is, but my family loves it. So I've
Okay,
seen all of it multiple times.
yes. Um, all right, so where was I going? Oh yeah, I've never used this
Yeah.
in in a game. However, I have used it for that last purpose in one of my short stories.
I believe that.
That's
The
yeah.
rickshaw business with floating discs?
No, not the rickshaw business. The
Oh, the horse-related activities.
right. My sorcerer was out of mount spells. He cast his last one. Somebody else needed a ride. Okay, well, I'll cast a floating disc. I got one of those. You can ride behind me. And yeah, we had a fun little chase scene, shooting crossbows from the back of a floating disc. That's good times.
Yeah, very cute. I have a question. Is that even remotely relevant? Like, should you consider that as an element of the spell? Like, do you think there's going to be a lot? Do you think an average table will have at least one encounter where that will happen?
I mean,
And a matter.
if you're short on horses, that's a possibility.
Of your most recent campaign, have you ever been short on horses?
No.
Okay, so we're in the same
that could
camp
happen.
then. It can happen.
Yeah,
Is it
horses
useful
die.
though?
Yep.
You could have the other person jump on the horse. You can summon animals in this game relatively cheaply.
Not
I don't
horses.
want to spend an action on this for you can stand behind specifically the wizard. Like, I don't see it. That seems, even in its best case scenario, it seems suspect to me.
All right. Yeah, you're probably never going to need it, but I think that could still be a lot of fun.
I definitely agree there.
And
I think this,
like you said at the beginning, first level ritual, it's good to have.
Yeah,
I think it's better to have and not need. Is that right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That need not have. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
exactly yes. So this is the ritual tag takes this from being uncastable trash to a deeply fun effect that I'm glad is in the game, right? Because as a wizard specifically, you will, whenever you're getting new spells, if you aren't getting more spells than you can prepare, you want to take a ritual spell with whatever spell you are preparing, right? Because you'll just jam the ritual spell in your book. You can use that whenever. You can always prepare the other spell gained. Now you're in a happy place where you got a new castable spell that you prepare always, and a spell in your spell book that is a ritual spell that you can always cast anyway. That is where Floating Disc definitely is I pick this as a ritual spell sometime in the early tier whenever I want this cool little effect. I do think it's a cool little effect. It has some fun applications, like you said, but I think those are all almost entirely fun. I don't think that effect is going to be like readily needed. Normally, whenever if I'm doing a chase scene, if I want to do horseback kind of encounters, which I normally don't because they're a pain in the ass, I will have enough horses for my players, or I'll have a carriage that's job is everyone gets on the wagon and it's shooting from it while one person's steering it. We have a fun little, a set piece where it's a bunch of actions being taken, a bunch of skill rolls determine, all right, animal handling, steering, land vehicles, maintaining composure, steering the thing and whatnot, while shooting at orcs or whatever coming over the side of the walls. That is an event that I would plan that the Floating Disc doesn't help at all in. Like, you could conceivably throw it behind you for some reason, and I do think there could be fun cinematic element of it where you have a gnome in the back that's like throwing, like a gnome artificer, blowing things up from a safe distance off the side of the caravan, and an orc tackles onto the floating disc, and the gnome and the orc are fighting on the floating disc trying not to fall off. That's 20 feet behind everyone else, and everyone looks back to see the poor gnome in way over his head by himself, right? Because it is 20 feet apart away from you. That is cute. That is never going to be a practical thing that occurs outside of the fantasy and the narrative, I think, right? That's a thing that you would do because it sounds fun and not a practical idea that is benefiting the team.
I do it because I want to relive the train scene in Back to the Future 3.
Exactly.
Yes.
That is what the floating disc is for, first and foremost.
No, it's for carrying loot.
Yes, that's true. Its actual job is to carry loot, and that sure hasn't mattered in years. So.
Could carry prisoners without having to worry about them suffocating inside your bag of holding after.
True.
Or like airing them out every 10 minutes. That's
you can always just fun. Have the barbarian drag them. That's easy, right?
Yeah.
You can tie them to the back of a horse, or not even a horse. You can just leave them somewhere for the police to pick up later.
Mm-hmm. Look, I'm saying if you need to get them somewhere.
That's it's cute. It is. I don't think D&D is, like you said, sort of playing in this retro style anymore. I think we're leaving the realm where this is sort of an interesting tool in a Dungeoneer's toolbox. If you are in that kind of game, this has some merit as a ritual spell, especially. I still don't want to spend spell slots on this, but it's, you know, if you get it for free, you just recast it every hour and you can just maintain carrying your loot back without any issue whatsoever. If you are playing at a table that's doing big set piece cinematic things and you aren't expected to take hostages, I don't see much reason for this to be on your character sheet. So, you know, put it in your spellbook for free, have the cute flavor of it, but that's kind of the extent.
All right, I'm trying to think of one more that you could use it like as an intimidation kind of thing.
You can
You might,
step stool it, and then you're 3 feet taller than the person if
yeah,
you're around the same height.
that's. But maybe you can fill in the blanks here.
Mhm.
I don't have a complete idea, but all right, so you got this very high rickety bridge,
Mhm.
and maybe it can support you, the wizard, because you're light and skinny and you're not wearing
Mhm.
any heavy armor. But the big bulky orc that you've got prisoner, he's pretty sure that bridge can't support him. So you walk out on the bridge, and every step you take, he's going out a little farther. He's getting terrified. If that spell run, if that hour runs out, he's going down. Then so are you. But no,
Yeah,
you go all the way to the other end, but he's still hanging there.
sure.
That's, so that will support the floating disc,
As long
but
as
it
there's
won't.
something within the distance below it, yes.
Yeah, the rickety bridge.
Hmm.
But if it disappears, it will not support the weight of the orc.
Sure. Or if we're not looking to torture and kill people, we could just have our paladin buddy do that, and then we can get our paladin buddy safely across without having to
Yeah,
worry about them
that's true. All right.
carrying their crap, right? As long as it's less than 500 pounds, you're good to go. But yes, that is a use case. Now, I think we're not quite at Feign Dead territory of coming up with convoluted plans, but I think we're nearing that space, right? Where we're coming up with very niche ways that we could find a way to make this tool do something and not using this tool as a solution to an abundance of problems that might crop up, right? That's sort of the wheelhouse that this is
This
finding
is
ways to use it,
yeah,
not
yes,
using
yes.
it as
I
a
will
solution
agree
to
with that.
problems.
But yeah, I'm not giving this a 1. This is definitely getting a 2
Definitely
from
not a one.
me. All
It's
right.
a ritual. It can't
Yeah.
be a one. It's a ritual that does something. This is definitely
Yeah.
a two.
Okay. We're agreed.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I had fun.
I like this spell. I
Yeah.
like this bad little spell. It's really harmless to put in your spell book. Do it. It's a fun time.
All right. Well, that was Tensor's floating disc. Thank you, Sam. Thank you for watching. And yeah, I'm sure we didn't think of everything. How have you used floating disc? Let us know down in the comments.
Is the drop of mercury because it's supposed to be like the top of a top hat? Is that the bit? Also, if you can tell me
Wait,
the
what does
material component,
Mercury have to do with a top hat?
they used to put them on the brims of hats in the 1800s or something. Comment down
didn't
below.
know
Let me know
that.
that reference because these normally the
Or
material components are normally funny references to history. Anyway, sorry.
I
Outro.
only know from like a thermometer,
Mm.
but I can't think of how that would be relevant.
Neither can I.
Okay. Yes. Let us know your thoughts on that as well. Do you have any idea what the drop of mercury is supposed to represent? Otherwise, yeah, like, subscribe. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.